Prabhu Srinivas Ramachandra Samage Narottamodaya Chandra Daya Koro Sri Acharya Prabhu Srinivasa Ramachandra Narottamodasa Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More Toma Bina Ke Doyalu Jagata Samsare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More Toma Bina Ke Doyalu Jagata Samsare Daya Koro More Toma Bina Ke Doyalu Jagata Samsare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Gaura Purnima Maha Mahotsava ki jai, Gaura Premanand. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda. Jai Dvaita Chandra, Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda. Jai Dvaita Chandra, Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda. Jai Dvaita Chandra, Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we'll read from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 10. The trunk, branches, and sub-branches of the Chaitanya tree. And I will read two verses, the first verse and then the 8 verse. 2 verses. Sri Chaitanya Padamboja. Sri Chaitanya Padamboja. Madhupebhyo Namo Namaha. Madhupebhyo Namo Namaha. Kathanchita Shrayadyesham. Kathanchita Shrayadyesham. Svapitad Gandhabhag Bhavet. Svapitad Gandhabhag Bhavet. Sri Chaitanya Padamboja. Madhupebhyo Namo Namaha. Kathanchita Shrayat Yesham. Svapitad Gandhabhag Bhavet. Somebody else? Padamboja. Madhupebhyo Namo Namaha. Shrayadiyesham. Bhave. Chaitanya Padamboja. Sri Chaitanya, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Pada Amboja, the lotus feet. Madhu, honey. Pebhyaha, unto those who drink. Namaha, respectful obeisances. Namaha, respectful obeisances. Kathanchit, a little of it. Ashrayat, taking shelter of. Yesham, of whom? Shva, dog. Api, also. Tadgandha, the aroma of the lotus flower. Bhak, shareholder. Bhavet, may become. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Let me repeatedly offer my respectful obeisances unto the bee-like devotees who always taste the honey of the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. If even a doggish non-devotee somehow takes shelter of such devotees, he enjoys the aroma of the lotus flowers. Purport. The example of a dog is very significant in this connection. A dog naturally does not become a devotee at any time. But still, it is sometimes found that a dog of a devotee gradually becomes a devotee also. We have actually seen that a dog has no respect even for the tulsi plant. Indeed, a dog is especially inclined to pass urine on the tulsi plant. Therefore, the dog is the number one non-devotee. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtana movement is so strong that even a dog-like non-devotee can gradually become a devotee by the association of a devotee of Lord Chaitanya. Srila Shivananda Sena, a great householder devotee of Lord Chaitanya, attracted a dog on the street while going to Jagannath Puri. The dog began to follow him and ultimately went to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and was liberated. Similarly, cats and dogs in the household of Srivasa Thakura were also liberated. Cats and dogs and other animals are not expected to become devotees, but in the association of a pure devotee, they are also delivered. And then I will read text number 8, which is about Srivasa Thakur. Srivasa Pandita or Sri Rama Pandit, Dui Bhai, Dui Shakka, Jagate Vidit. The two brothers, Srivasa Pandita and Sri Rama Pandita, started two branches that are well known in the world. Purport. In the Gauraganadesha Dipika, Srivasa Pandit, Srivasa Thakur, is described as an incarnation of Narada Muni. And Sri Rama Pandit, his younger brother, is said to be an incarnation of Parvata Muni, a great friend of Narada's. Srivasa Pandit's wife, Malini, is celebrated as an incarnation of the nurse Ambika, who fed Lord Krishna with her breast milk. And as already noted, his niece Narayani, the mother of Thakur Vrindavan Das, the author of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata, was the sister of Ambika in Krishna Lila. We also understand, her name was Kilimbika. We also understand from the descriptions of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat that after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's acceptance of the sannyas order, Srivas Pandit left Navadvip. Possibly because of feeling of separation, he domiciled at Kumara Hata. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhubhe Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yantah pravishya mama vachim imam prasuptam sanjeevayata kila shakti darak swadam nanyam shahasta charana shravana tvagadim pranannamo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam svasyastu vishvasya kalach prasidatam dayantu bhutani shivam mithodaya manascha badram bhajatata dokshaje aveshyatam naumatir apyahaitu ki. So yesterday we were speaking about the initiation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Gaya, when the ecstatic feelings of love of Godhead came into his heart through the syllables of Diksha mantra. This is a very significant part of our philosophy, that we can only get bhakti from the heart of somebody who has bhakti. We cannot really spread bhakti without having bhakti, because you can only spread something which you have. It's common sense. But luckily enough for us, there will always be devotees in this world who have bhakti, And if we develop the proper attitude towards them, and if we really try to become dependent on them, through this channel of dependence, the bhakti will come. Sometimes we speak about association with devotees, but we also have to understand very clearly that association does not mean physical proximity. Association doesn't mean that we are in one room together. It's a good start, but association starts from the point when we feel ourselves dependent on other devotees. This feeling of dependence opens our heart and makes it capable of receiving the grace coming from the heart of a devotee. Otherwise, our heart will remain closed, and in this closed heart, nothing will penetrate it. Nothing will come into it, even if devotees want to give their mercy or bhakti. So, Narottam Das Thakur, he expressed very beautifully in this bhajan his utter dependence on the devotees. He says, yes, Sri Chaitanya, he is, the most merciful in the whole universe, and please deliver me. But then he starts saying that, haha Prabhu Nityananda, haha, haha, this exclamation is coming from the heart. Haha basically means, alas, alas, in this exclamation, there is a mixture of wonder and also humility. Alas, alas, O Nityananda Prabhu, you are so happy. Why don't you give me a drop of your happiness? Because I'm so utterly unhappy. And then he says, Dayakora, Sitapati, Advaita Gosai, or Advaita Prabhu, please give me your mercy. And then he says, haha, Svarup Sanatana, Rupa Raghunath, oh please, Sad Goswami Prabhu, give me your mercy. And then most amazingly, he says, Srinivasacharya, please give me your mercy, even though he is not superior to him, he is equal. And then, even most amazingly, he says, Ramachandra Sangamage Naratamadas, my heart is always craving to have association with Ramachandra, who is his junior. He is a disciple of Srinivasacharya, but he still says, I'm dependent on you. Without you, without your mercy, I'm nobody, I'm zero. I can only become something in terms of my relationship with God if I feel this utter dependence on the devotees of the Lord. And therefore, I have chosen this speak on this first verse of the 10th canto, 10th chapter of Adi Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, and specifically on one pastime about Srivas Pandit. In this chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wants to make it very clear that we are not the followers of a cult. There is a very great distinction between the cult and the proper spiritual movement. In a cult, you have one person and everyone is just completely connected with this person, and there is no horizontal connections. It's only vertical. There is somebody and you blindly worship him and nobody else is there. You don't recognize anyone else. And therefore, actually, the spirituality does not become real, because to recognize somebody else, you need humility. To recognize somebody who is so far away and so high, you don't need humility. It's kind of natural and it's more or less official. But when you enter into relationship with the devotees, so-called rank and file devotees, when you understand that you depend on the devotion which is there in their hearts, when we really understand this, then the spirituality becomes real because the humility becomes real. To worship God, you don't have to be humble. You can remain very proud. There is no problem with this. In fact, you will be proud by worshiping the Lord. See how good worshiper I am. I am the best worshiper of all. But to worship the devotees of the Lord, you have to become proud. You have to become humble. With pride, it will not work. Sometimes the motivation to worship the Lord is exactly this, look how close I am to the Lord. The motivation is the same sort of material pride which is haunting us from time immemorial. And we use the Lord as the instrument to increase our pride by worshiping Him, by proclaiming our closeness to Him or whatever it is. And therefore, it's very important to develop relationship with the devotees and to develop the dependence on the devotees. And therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he says again and again and again, the only way to approach Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is through his devotees. You cannot approach him directly. You cannot approach him independently. You have to develop the dependence on the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And by the mercy of the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he will become easily pleased. So that's the mechanism which is there in the spiritual circles. And therefore, in the introduction to this chapter, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, all the devotees of the Lord, they're like bumblebees. They're like honeybees. And they're always eager to get some flavor, some aroma, which is coming from the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. They're mad, they're intoxicated. They know how beautiful is this aroma. They're intoxicated as much as the bees when they feel the aroma of the lotus. They forget themselves. They just fly there. So in the same way, the devotees, they know that Lord Chaitanya is not just a saint. Is not just an ordinary great sadhu or saint, as some people choose to believe. But they know there is something special in the relationship with his lotus feet. Because the relationship with his lotus feet gives you very special feeling of bhakti. Not just ordinary bhakti. It's very interesting. Srila Jiva Goswami, he gave very elaborate commentary on the verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita and originally from Vidagdha Madhava, Anarpita Charim Chirat Karuna Avatirna Kalu Samarpaitam Unatoj Rasam Svabhakti Shriyam. And in this commentary, he speaks about all the points of this verse, but what I want to quote him for is that Anarpita Charim Chirat, the Lord Chaitanya is giving something which was not given for a long time before him. Karuna Vatirna Kalu. He's coming into this age of Kali to give something which was not given. And Srila Jiva Goswami says, how come it was not given? Did Ambarish Maharaj, did he not have Bhakti? Prahlad Maharaj, did he not have Bhakti? Or, you know, some other great devotees, Hanuman, they had Bhakti. They all had Bhakti. But there is something special which Lord Chaitanya gave. Yes, Hanuman is a great bhakta, no doubt about it. We bow down to him, we worship him, no doubt about him. Ambarish Maharaj is the great bhakta, Prahlad Maharaj is the great bhakta, but Anarpita Charim Chirat. Something which Lord Chaitanya gave was not given before. This very special taste of bhakti, which Lord Chaitanya specifically brought into this world, is very precious thing. And we have to understand, even though Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says very emphatically, he says in the beginning of this chapter, he says that you should not think that one devotee of Lord Chaitanya is higher than another devotee. If they appreciate Lord Chaitanya, if they worship Lord Chaitanya, if they dedicated their life to spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya, it means they received something very special within their heart. And because they received this very special taste, which they're able to appreciate, they're also capable of giving this taste to us, even though we are like dog. You know, dogs are not famous for appreciating the aroma of lotus flower. Dogs prefer the aroma of rotten meat. They have special taste. I recently was in Puri and I was chanting Hare Krishna mantra on the bank of the ocean, and there was a big fish, rotten, you know, dead fish on the bank nearby, and dogs were feasting with this fish. They were really, I mean, wow! You could feel how they're enjoying this. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he says that those people who don't have this discrimination, who are more or less programmed to taste the material rotten taste of this world, the taste of material enjoyment, who are addicted to this taste, they cannot really appreciate the subtle beauty of the honey which is coming from the feet of Lord Chaitanya. Yeah, nice, Hare Krishna. At best, they don't really understand how special it is and what special gift Lord Chaitanya can give to us. But if we associate with the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, who are connoisseurs of this special taste, who really addicted to this taste of the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, then we can also start coming to this conclusion. Yes, there is something special. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Something is special here. It's not, you know, Jai Shri Krishna. It's something special. Because Lord Chaitanya invested his love of his heart, raging love of Srimati Radharani into the syllables of this mantra. And through the media of this mantra, he is still spreading this very special gift, but only through the devotees. Only through the appreciation of devotees and through this, our ability to feel the humility and dependence, and through our ability to become the beggars of the mercy. Like Narottam Das Thakur, he is begging the mercy. Ha ha, Prabhu Nityananda, Daya Koro Sitapati, ha ha, Swarup Sanatana, please give me, please give me, please give me. So, specifically, it's very interesting that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami starts describing the tree. He described the trunk of the tree, but now he's describing the main branches of Lord Chaitanya trees. And he says again that all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya are very special. very special. It means that you are very special. Every one of you is very special. Uh, he said there is no lower and higher. Still, even though there is no lower and higher, he starts his description of the branches of the trees of Lord Chaitanya from Srivas Pandit and Ramai Pandit, two brothers from Navadvip. And specifically, Srila Prabhupada explaining this point, he says that Srivas Pandit was so devoted to Lord Chaitanya that he couldn't bear to live in Navadvip after Lord Chaitanya left Navadvip. It was too painful for him because whenever he would look, he would see something connected with Lord Chaitanya, and he would not feel that Lord Chaitanya is still here. You know, every day would become a torture for him, a torture of separation, and therefore he basically very quickly he moved with all his household to Komarhata and lived there. So Srivas Pandit, in whose house Lord Chaitanya started his Sankirtan movement, has a very great privilege in our Sampradaya. Srivas Pandit was the first one whom Lord Chaitanya openly revealed his divinity. And ever since, before this moment which I'm about to describe, before this moment, Srivas Pandit was of a great respect towards Lord Chaitanya when he became a devotee. Before that, he was praying to the Lord, let Nimai Pandit become a devotee of the Lord, and then something special will happen. And he was a great devotee, and he was always chanting the holy name with loud kirtans. He was famous in the whole of Navadvip that he was doing these kirtans even before that. But he didn't understand that Lord Chaitanya is God. But when this miracle happened, yesterday I was speaking about miracles and little neglectfully saying that miracles are not the proof of divinity. And it's a fact, miracles are not the proof of divinity, but they're good supporting arguments for our doubting minds. If we entirely base our faith on miracles, that's not good. We should not base our spiritual life. We shouldn't risk our spiritual life by basing it on the fact that somebody is showing some miracles. But you know, in all spiritual traditions, miracles are very respected in the sense that they are kind of, you know, proving to doubting minds, please stop doubting, start chanting Hare Krishna. There is no need to waste your time and energy by doubting all the time everything. So before that, Srivas Thakur, he didn't know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was God. But after he saw the miracle which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed to him, after he witnessed this by his own eyes, and it's very also important to understand what kind of miracle it was. When he witnessed it with his own eyes, he became the most, by far, the most ardent proponent of Lord Chaitanya's divinity. He was, you know, because there were many devotees, and many devotees, they knew or understood that Lord Chaitanya is God. But nobody was as ardent devotee of Lord Chaitanya is God as Srivas Pandit. You know that there is this episode in during Ratha Yatra when Srivas Pandit kind of, you know, pushed away a big, what was his name, Hari Chandan, yeah, Hari Chandan. He pushed away this big general of Maharaja Prataparudra, and kind of stepped on him, and this big, with mustache general wanted to hit Shivas Pandit, and then Maharaja Prataparudra said, "You are the most fortunate person in the whole of the universe, because himself, Shivas Pandit, stepped on your toes." You have to consider you're the most fortunate, because by this act you will be able to get a little glimpse of the devotion which Shivas Pandit has. And this story actually is interesting, because uh, it definitely relates to my own life, and I believe it relates to anyone else's life. Because the story starts from the fear of Shivas Pandit. Shivas Pandit was famous, or let us say infamous, in Navadvip because of his loud kirtans. And the atheists, which were densely populating Navadvip, didn't like his kirtans. And especially they didn't like his kirtans before Lord Chaitanya became a devotee, but after Lord Chaitanya became a devotee, and they started this loud whole night kirtans in the house of Shivas Pandit, they hated it the most, because Lord Chaitanya was shouting so loudly that all the atheists would wake up in a complete anxiety. Vrindavan Das Thakur says that he would wake them up from their sweet enjoyment of the deep ignorance of sleep. And they didn't like it at all, and they started hating even more. And then somebody, as it is usual in this world, somebody started making some rumors. These loud kirtans, they're so loud that even in the, in the capital of Bengal, the king, the Muslim king of Bengal, knows that there is some loud kirtans going on, and he already sent some soldiers, and these soldiers will destroy our city, will destroy our town, and we will all be ruined. And Vrindavan Das Thakur, he actually likes to repeat these rumors or the blasphemies, because he just, he feels a transcendental ecstasy by repeating them, because he feels so much anger after repeating this, how this blasphemous atheist would deprecate and would offend all the devotees. So he's saying this, this atheists, they were talking to each other, before that we were talking, that we should have drowned the house of Srivas Pandit in the Ganga, and you didn't do this. Now you will bear the fruit of your negligence. I told you, I was wise. I knew that it will not be anything good, and now the soldiers are coming, and the soldiers will destroy our whole town, and we will all suffer because of this, Shivas Pandit. Somehow or other, they didn't speak about Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya was actually dear to all the inhabitants of Navadvip, and even atheists had some soft corner in their hearts. They didn't dare to mention his name, but Shivas Pandit, oh no, they blasphemed him left and right. Again, the same dynamic is there. You may appreciate the Lord himself because he is so special, but the real test of your bhakti comes whether you appreciate the devotee of the Lord or not. So they were saying that, and somebody countered this, and they said, now the soldiers are coming. And Shivas Pandit, what he will do? He will run away from Navadvip. Oh, definitely. He will escape from Navadvip. We will only suffer all this fate of being, our city will be demolished by the soldiers. And then somebody said, no, 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 we will not allow him to escape from Navadvip. We will bind him with the ropes, Shiva's Pandit, and we will procure him to the king, to the soldiers of the king, and we will say, he is the culprit. Take them. Don't touch us. We're innocent. We're sleeping at night. Only these stupid Vaishnavas, they're chanting this loudly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Anyway, there were so many rumors about this, and especially, you know, as usually it is, somebody makes some stupid rumor, says, you know, yeah, I heard that maybe somebody coming, and then somebody else says, no, no, the 4 boats are coming full of soldiers, and somebody said, no, no, not 4 boats, 8 boats are coming, and somebody else said, no, no, not 8 boats, 100 boats are coming, and the whole army of these Muslims are coming to destroy Navadvip. And Shivas Pandit, he heard these rumors, and he became very fearful. He became sincerely fearful because fear actually exists in this world, and fear is bad for the atheists because fear is actually not so bad, because fear kind of pushes atheists to become believers sometimes, not always, but sometimes. And fear pushes the devotees to become pure devotees. Because you may impudently rely upon yourself and your ability to protect yourself, but when you really encounter the fearful situation, you become very sincere. I said to you that I'm speaking on my own experience. You know, I became devotee because I was so fearful of KGB and all these forces, which, you know, all these forces which were, I mean, real. You know, I could have been put in prison for many years and, you know, serve in a labor camp, and devotees died in labor camps. I was so fearful, and therefore I was praying to Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So the devotees become, when this emotion, because emotion means sincerity. If we deeply feel some emotions, then we can invest this emotion into the prayer. And when we invest emotion with the prayer becomes very powerful. When we just mechanically repeat something, it's also good, but it doesn't touch the heart of the Lord. So Shivas Pandit, after hearing all these rumors and encountering all this envy and enmity among the inhabitants of Navadvip, he locked down himself in his little temple, in his apartment or in his house, and he was praying to Lord Nrsimhadev. Ugram Viram Mahavishnum Jvalantam Sarvatamukham Drishimam Bijanam Badram Mrityurmityum Namam Yahamu Ugram Viram Mahavishnum Jvalantam Sarvatamukham Drishimam Bijanam Badram Mrityurmityum Namam Yaham. Again and again and again, he was shaking with fear and taking shelter of Lord Nrsimhadev, begging him to protect. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you know, and not only Shivas Pandit, Vrindavan Das Thakur says that all the devotees were fearful. All the devotees of Navadvip, because they really knew that it's something real, the danger is real, that Muslim king can send the soldiers, and all these rumors may not be lie, they may prove to be true. And the only one who was not fearful was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was not fearful. He was roaming through the streets of Navadvip as if nothing happened, you know, and atheists, they looked at him and they said, look, he's not fearful. Something is wrong with him. And the other atheist said, no, no, he's just pretending, he's just hiding his fears deep within his heart. Don't be cheated by this appearance. So there were, some rumors were there. And uh, at one point, in one day, which I'm trying to describe, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was walking along the bank of Ganga, and he saw cows. And the cows were bowing down to drink some water, and they were, playing with each other, fighting with each other. And some cows, they were uh, uh, laying down, and some other cows, they were grazing. And when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw this scene, a very acute feeling, I am him, came into his heart. I am the Lord. Muisei, Muisei, Muisei. He started saying this, I am him, I am him, I am him. This remembrance about Lord Krishna came very strongly and very vividly into his heart. And at the same time, he, being the super soul of all the living entities, he knew very well the condition of Shivas Pandit. And he was wondering, I am him, and he's my devotee, he likes me, and he's so fearful. Let me save him. So in this mood, very strong mood, I am the Lord himself, he runs immediately to the house of Shivas Pandit. And Shivas Pandit is there in his little temple room, and Lord Chaitanya started banging, 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 banging into the door of Shivas Pandit's house or temple room. And Shivas Pandit is in his meditation, is completely absorbed. Ugram Veram Mahavishnum Jvalantam Sarvatomukam Drisimam Vijandam Badram Rityurnityum Namamyam. And Lord Chaitanya from the other side of the door, he is yelling, Shivas, open, whom you worship, whom you are worshipping. The one whom you are worshipping is here. Why are you worshipping him? I am here. And then without even, waiting for Shivas Pandit to open the doors of his temple room, because Shivas Pandit is deeply absorbed in his meditation, he opens the door and he sits down on the altar and shows his four-armed form. And Shivas Pandit opens his eyes from the meditation, and he looks at the altar and he sees Vishwambar Mishra is in my altar. Not Rishimadev, Vishwambar Mishra, my from my village. And he sees that this beautiful form of Lord Chaitanya, and he sees the four arms. And the whole puzzle becomes very clear to him. He sees that, yes, everything starts making sense. Before he liked Lord Chaitanya with a very special feelings, and he saw how powerful devotee he all of a sudden became. And before that, he saw how powerful Pandit he was. And all these incredible things were there in front of his eyes. But now it all made sense. Before that, he was just a wonder. He was tall and beautiful and, distinguished by so many different signs. But now I see he is God. And Lord Chaitanya from the altar, he yells at Shivas Pandit, Shivas, worship me, worship me, worship me. And Shivas Pandit starts reciting the verses from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Noimidya tebrava pusheta didambaraya, gunjavatam shaparipichala sanmukaya vanyasraje, kavala vetra vishana venu, lakshmasriye, mridu pade pashupanga jaya. So he starts chanting these verses for Srimad Bhagavatam addressed to Lord Krishna, by Lord Brahma himself, and he is explaining this, you're the Lord, you're dressed in this yellow dhoti, which is like lightning, and even though you look like ordinary human being, This particular verse is very significant because in this verse, Lord Brahma expresses his wonder, because he couldn't believe that little Krishna is God himself. And now it has become clear to him that little Krishna, even though he looks so cute and so, vulnerable, like a little child, he's Krishna himself. And in the same way, Shivas Pandit, in the same mood, he says, oh, now I understand your God. Now I understand you are non-different than Krishna himself, even though you may appear like an ordinary human being, but ultimately, in the ultimate sense, you are Nrsimhadev, you are Ramachandra, you have come, you are Lord Vishnu, you are everything, and I worship you. And Lord Chaitanya says, okay, nice prayers, now you worship me. And Shivas Pandit starts applying the sandalwood paste and flowers, and all the flowers which he prepared for puja of Nrisimhadev, he spent on Lord Chaitanya. Without any hesitation, he worshipped him. And then Lord Chaitanya, he says to Shivas Pandit, Shivas, you call everyone to hear. You call all your servants and all your maidservants and all your relatives and everyone, you call everyone, let them see who I am. And Lord Chaitanya manifests his divinity, his divine form, not only to Srivas Pandit, as Srila Prabhupada says, that even dogs and the cats in the house of Srivas Pandit became devotees because they saw the original form of the Lord. And Vrindavan Das Thakur says, not only cats, not only dogs, not only Muslim tailor of Shivas Pandit, not only little niece Narayani, even ants in the house of Shivas Pandit became devotees because they saw the form of the Lord. Even ants, it's a very distinguished position to become an ant in the house of Shivas Pandit. And basically the point which Vrindavan Das Thakur makes again, how we should be dependent on a devotee. Because Shivas Pandit is so powerful that because of his influence, even the ants became devotees. Not only dogs, but even the ants, which don't have the, really developed capacity to feel bhakti. They felt something special within their hearts. And he calls everyone, and everyone sees Lord Chaitanya, and everyone bows down, and everyone starts praying to him. And then the Lord Chaitanya says, Shivas Pandit, why you're so fearful? What is the reason for your fear? You are afraid of some insignificant king, Muslim king somewhere in Ramakeli or wherever he is, why should you be so fearful? I'm with you. I'm the super soul. And I'm in the heart of this king. And this king will not do anything to you unless I inspire him to do something to you. And I will never inspire him to do something bad to you. And then he says, of course, he's a Muslim king, so God knows how he will behave because he's, after all, independent. If he decides to do something which I don't inspire him to do, it's a very interesting point which Lord Chaitanya makes. We usually say that, we're all dependent and we're controlled by God within our heart. Lord Chaitanya himself says, but, even if he does something which I don't want him to do, God gives us independence. It basically means that we can do some damn stupid things without inspiration of the super soul within our heart. Because we're so stupid and so independent. So the Lord says, even if this guy, meaning the king of Goda, Desh, even if he does something stupid, which I didn't allow him to do, even if he sends all these soldiers to Navadvip, I will be the first one who will step into this boat. I will tell to all the soldiers, don't touch anyone, take me. I'm the culprit. Procure me to the court of the king and deal with me, because I am the root cause behind all these kirtans. And he's true, you know. Lord Chaitanya Maharaj is exactly truthful. And he says, and I will come to the court of the king. And the king would be sitting on the throne. And he will see me. And he will be so bewildered that he will immediately step down from the throne and bow down to me. And then Lord Chaitanya says, but even if he doesn't do this, even if he is stupid enough, you know, I will bewilder him by my Maya, and he will forget that he is the king and this is somebody, you know, and he will bow down. But even if he doesn't do this, then I will tell to this stupid king, you call all your scholars, Muslim scholars, all your mullahs and everyone else, and then you call all the elephants and horses and everyone, and let them chant the names of Allah, and let's see whether your mullahs will be able to push the elephants to chant the name of Allah and feel love of God. That's the ultimate proof. Actually, Lord Chaitanya gives us in this little pastime a very interesting logic by which we can understand that he is the Lord himself. He gives the ultimate proof that he is the Lord himself because he is able to move somebody into love of God who is not actually qualified to be moved by love of God. That's his greatest achievement and the gift which he brought. And therefore he says, let them call all the horses and elephants and let them try to do with the horses and elephants anything they want to do. And these mullahs will try to do it and they will fail. And then I will tell the king, king, bring me the mad elephant. Bring me this dangerous beast, creature, mad elephant, and I will tell him, chant Hare Krishna, and he will start chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. See, this is the proof of Lord Chaitanya's power. and he said, and he looks at Shivas Pandit, and he says, Shivas, you don't believe me? If you don't believe me, I will show it to you. I will show my power to you. And he sees the little niece of Shivas Pandit, 4-year-old Narayani, who is the mother of Vrindavan Das Thakur, future mother. At that time, she was not mother yet. She was 4-year-old. So, and she's just, you know, little innocent girl there. And the Lord Chaitanya looks at her and he says, you know, Narayani, chant Hare Krishna. And Narayani started chanting incessantly Hare Krishna and started crying the tears of love and started rolling in the ground and started manifesting all kinds of ecstatic symptoms in her little body. And Lord Chaitanya says, look, now you believe me? Now you know my power. Now you know who I am and why did I come here to Navadvip? What is the purpose of my coming to Navadvip? And Shivas Pandit, he folds his hands and he says, yes, my Lord, I know. Now it all makes sense. I know why did you come to Navadvip? What is the reason? What is the cause? And I know what you're going to do, and I'm your devotee always. And there will be nobody else worshipable to me as much as you are. So that's little pastime, which is very beautiful. And Vrindavan Das Thakur says that whoever hears this pastime the glimpse of love of God will appear into his heart. he will become impressed, because he knows, he will understand, who Lord Chaitanya is. He is not just a saint. He is not just a good sadhu. He is Lord himself, who incarnated to give us this most precious and most sublime emotions of love of God. And he's still spreading this through his devotees, or chanting loudly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. I guess. Definitely sharing his devotion with you by giving initiation, no doubt about it.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for wonderful nectar, especially the various rumors you connected. And finally Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's purpose of appearing. The process you mentioned about fear. So, as a practice devotees, what we should be more fearful of?
We should fear to lose Krishna consciousness. We should fear to offend devotees. If we really understand that my bhakti depends on the mercy of devotees, on the good wishes of devotees, then our fear should be, I don't want to offend anyone. Because sometimes we are unconsciously pushed by our mind. Our mind is a very dangerous creature. It has so many unconscious motives, and sometimes it pushes us to, look down at devotees, neglect them, say something bad or think something bad about them, who they think they are, why they recognize them as devotee, why they don't recognize my devotion. So this should be our fear, the fear of our mind, which is very dangerous thing. And immediately when we feel that something like this is happening, we should definitely consciously stop it and redirect our consciousness toward the good wishes to devotees and service of the devotees. Yes.
Investing emotions into the prayers. as a practicing sadhaka, what, like, can you give some guidance on how do we practice investing, offering prayers?
How practically investing
emotions into the prayers?
huh? Emotion into prayers. Well, thank you for this question. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says very interesting thing in his introductory prayer to Sharanagati book, where he says that Chaitanya, that the Lord Nanda Kumar hears only the prayer which is invested with Sharanagati. So, you know, there are so many emotions, and some emotions, it's better if we don't invest into the prayer. Like sometimes we may be very angry and we, at somebody, and we invest it into our prayer, let him be suffering in the hell. So it will be very sincere prayer, but not very beneficial to us. So what should be our area of work or sadhana is to learn to feel the emotions of Sharanagati. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains this in another place in Jaiva Dharma, that 6 items of Sharanagati, they constitute 5 emotions. And Sharanagati is an emotional condition, which we should try to feel and invest it into the prayers. And he says that the first emotion which is there in Sharanagati is pratigya, which means the solemn declaration. I will only do what is favorable for the Lord, and I will not do anything which is not favorable. And that's emotion, it's not just, saying, you feel it. From this time on, I will only do something which is pleasing to the Lord, and I will not do something which is displeasing to the Lord. That's the first emotion, the emotion of solemn declaration, that my vow, the solemn vow, which I give. And then there is emotion of being protected by the Lord. We're begging him, please, you are my only protector. And then we're saying, you are my maintainer. You are somebody whom I depend on. You are this, Goptritve Varanam Tatha. You are Goptar. You're somebody who supplies me. I depend on you. I don't depend on this, all these people. Ultimately, I depend on you. And then Atmanikshepa Karpanye, the 2 last emotions, is Atmanikshepa, when we surrender ourselves to the Lord and at the same time feel the humility. So this combination of 5 emotions, solemn vow, and the desire to, the declaration that I'm dependent on the Lord and my protection and my maintenance and humility at the same time, something which we should try to learn, because this is what Sharanagati means. Sharanagati means emotional condition of our heart. And if we invest these emotions into the prayer, it means that we chant Hare Krishna with these emotions. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. My Lord, I'm yours. I belong to you. I'm your humble servant. I depend on you. I depend on the devotees of the Lord. Then the Lord will hear our prayers. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Preman. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Maharaj, for beautiful narrating the pastime of Shiva's Pandit and how his fear transformed into pure love, and making it relevant for the devotees also, that how
fear, by fear, we devotees become pure devotees. Very nicely explained and through the pastime of the Muslims disturbing Shiva's Pandit. So let's thank Maharaj for beautifully narrating this Chaitanya Leela last 2 days and giving his association. We request Maharaj, please come every year whenever possible, more and more, uh, and give your association to all the devotees. So let's thank Maharaj by once chanting with emotion Hare Krishna mantra.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare,
Thank you
Namo.
very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prasadam. So breakfast prasadam for devotees is in the prasadam hall. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna devotees, thank you for joining in the morning session. We will connect tomorrow at 7:50. I'll end the session. Hare Krishna.
Once.